Hi, this is Kristen with Collision Hub. We are live on the NACE floor in Las Vegas, Nevada for NACE 2010. And today we've got Brian Schaefer with us, and we're going to talk about just some of my favorite things. So I feel like it's the Oprah show today. You didn't know you were going to do like Oprah's favorite things, did you?
No, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I know. It's Collision Hub's favorite things. You have brought with you today the booth wrap.
Yes.
And I am just kind of loving this product, and kind of what we see here is a little bit of wine. Tell me a little bit about booth wrap.
The dirt trap system that we just developed and brought out this year actually is an innovative non-woven adhesive backed material that provides protection for the paint booth. So as you can see, this would be a dirty piece of the dirt trap system, and this would be a clean part of it. So with the advent of waterborne materials, this becomes more and more important due to the fact that one of the negatives to waterborne material is you have to have that air movement going through the booth, and when that happens, you do produce a lot more dirt and dust that will get into your shops or into your jobs potentially. So the nice thing about the dirt trap is what it does is it traps the dirt, providing a cleaner, better finish for the car, allowing for the shop to be more productive on the end of the job.
Yeah, one of the things I've noticed with it that I like a lot is, depending on where the booth is kind of sucking down from, on a side job, not a lot of trash, but when we went up on the top panels, we're noticing a lot more, and this seems to prevent that. So I'm noticing now when I'm doing some hoods and some roofs and some trunks, with this, it's just taking away a lot of my trash, and I'm not denibbing like I used to.
Exactly. So the shops are, telling us that they're seeing a 50% decrease in the amount of buffing that they have to do, or denibbing, if you will, which just makes the shop more productive and more efficient.
Right. So that'll probably, with that reduction, I can maybe get 2 more cars a week through the booth.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah. That's always good. The more cars I can move, the better.
Yeah, we're always trying to help the shops make more money.
Yeah, and I was surprised that really, when I knew I was going to get some into how thin it was.
Yes, very
based
thin.
on what it does, and
there's
it's just
not a lot to it. Yeah, so the recommendation for something like this is you're probably going to change the floor out once a month, and then the stuff on the walls maybe once a quarter, depending on how much goes through the shop.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, you've also brought us, I think it's running a close second to the DMS, I got to tell you.
Oh, come on.
The DMS, but I really love the AccuSpray system. Tell me a little bit more about it.
Okay, the whole idea behind the AccuSpray system is what you're holding there is you've got a composite gun body, okay? And it works in conjunction with PPS, as you know. So we came out with PPS about 10 years ago now. And PPS is great for waterborne shops as well, due to the fact that it's a closed system, and you don't have to worry about the corrosion that might be, with an aluminum type cup. You don't have to worry about that. So the PPS system is great, and it works in conjunction with our brand new AccuSpray system. So the idea behind this is you've got a composite gun handle with a disposable, reusable, if necessary, atomizing head.
Right.
So essentially, the air cap, the fluid nozzle, and everything comes off. So depending on how the shop primes, if the shop does batch priming, so let's say they're getting 10 cars ready at one time, we would recommend use it for that batch. When you're done, take it off, throw it away, wipe the needle off, put a new atomizing head on, you've got a brand new spray gun. So the beauty behind this is you've got a premium spraying gun at a fraction of the cost.
Right.
Now it is reusable, so if somebody's not batch priming and they're actually priming on demand, so if somebody gets something ready in the shop and then they need to prime it, they use it, and they can flush this out and reuse it. We recommend 8 to 10 times.
Right.
Now the other nice thing about it is you can see it's polypropylene, so it's made out of plastic. The beauty of it is it's clear. So you can see when the primer has been flushed out and when it's clean. So you flush it out, when it's done, take it off, wipe the needle off, put it back on, and you've still got that brand new spray gun with that premium finish and you're ready to go.
And with the clearness, I'm going through a lot less thinner getting this thing, cleaning it and prepping
That's good.
it. So yeah, it's really been amazing. Yeah. And the pattern, the spray pattern and everything just is really, really nice.
Yeah, there's a number of values to the system. One is, as you mentioned, the pattern. You can get that big, huge pattern, a 12 to 14 inch pattern if you need it. But you can also dial it down to a mid-range pattern, which most shops are primarily going to use. Right. Or you can dial it down to the size of a dime if needed. So if you're just dusting something in, or you just need a small area, you can dial that down. But the nice thing about, hey, you can have that big pattern, but it's not just a big pattern, it's a usable pattern. So you've got good fluid distribution from top to bottom. It's not heavily centered and a little dry on the top. The other nice thing about this is the way the gun is designed is we're spraying it. We have the ability to spray at much lower pressures and still get that really nice atomization and really good droplet size. So by reducing the amount of pressure that somebody's spraying with, we're able to reduce the amount of overspray. Let's face it, a lot of guys that are priming, or a lot of ladies that are priming, are not using really nice primer guns. They're using a cheap primer gun that maybe they bought from somebody else, or in many instances they're using the old base coat or the old clear coat gun that got handed down by the painter.
I'll just tell you, it's my dad's gun. The gun's older than me, and that's my primer gun, but
right.
yeah.
But, well, what some people feel is, hey, the primer gun works fine if what? If material comes out of it.
Right.
So as long as they can get something
sanding
to
it
spin
anyway.
out, yeah, I'm just going to sand it anyways. But the detriment to doing that is you're spraying at higher pressures in order to get it out. You're going to increase your overspray. You're going to reduce your transfer efficiency. But with something like this, we can spray at that lower pressure and get that really nice pattern. So we've reduced our overspray. We've increased our transfer efficiency, allowing the shop to use less primer, which is nice.
Right.
We've produced a flatter, smoother finish, less texture, allowing the technician to spend less time sanding and blocking. And then the cleanup is just kind of intuitive, and it comes in conjunction with the PPS system.
Right, and that's one of the things I've noticed. Is you always hear that if you're not wasting it in the can, you're wasting it in the air.
Yep.
But I noticed it goes a lot quicker,
yep.
and I am using a lot less product with it. So that's, it's leaning me down, and it's, in the time frames, and then it's leaning me up in the amount of cost that I've got in materials invested. So.
We have come out with the new 3-ounce cup that you might be familiar with. And that's going to be more prevalent next year when the new EPA 6H rule comes out. So January 10th of next year, anybody that's not spraying in a booth, if they want to continue to prime or to cut something in on the shop floor like they're used to, and they don't have the ability to pull it into a booth or a prep station with filtration of 98% or better, the maximum cup capacity that they can currently spray with is 3 ounces. So what we've come out with, in order to allow the shops to continue to do business as usual, is a 3-ounce cup. So the beauty with this is they can continue to run the shop as they're currently doing it without making them run material through the booth when they don't have the ability to do that.
Right. I mean, it would seem like it'd be just a big tie down to my productivity and affect my cycle time. If, for those either cut-in primer jobs on some welding or some of the smaller spot repairs, I was having to run, have the body tech run to paint to get the primer done.
Correct.
It allows me to kind of keep that on the rack with me, so to speak, in the metal type portion of the shop.
Yep.
So it's just been a great tool. Any feedback from some shops that are using the 3-ounce cups right now that y'all are getting?
Yeah, there's a couple things. One, they love the fact that they're realizing, hey, I'm probably using more material than I necessarily need to. And the other thing is, in conjunction with the new AccuSpray system, is, we talked about the reduction in overspray.
Right.
So they're getting better transfer efficiency. A lot of technicians are saying, hey, I used to have to use the full 6 ounces that goes in the cup, but now with the advent of the AccuSpray system, we realize we can use less primer. So they're actually going to using the 3-ounce, and they're still having plenty of material to do that normal job. So shops are loving that, and they love the fact that, hey, it's a little bit cheaper than the 6 ounce as well.
That probably makes a good point. A lot of times when we're doing just little spot in primer in the stalls, we're not thinking a lot about efficiency. We're thinking about the efficiency of getting it out of my stall.
That's right.
So, we kind of mix and go. But when you give somebody a 3 ounces and say, make this work, they're learning that they probably had been burning through some materials for years and didn't even know.
Right. And that's the beauty of it. We can talk to the shop owner or manager all day long about how we have the ability with PPS to allow somebody to mix less paint due to the fact that you're mixing and spraying out of the same container. But let's face it, a lot of times the technicians, they continue to mix the same amount of material. So even though we have the ability to allow them to use less material, they might not necessarily do that. But with using the 3-ounce, it kind of forces them to do that. So if they were normally mixing 6 ounces, but they only need to use 3 ounces, the shop manager or owner saying, hey, you're going to use this 3-ounce, it basically forces them to reduce their primer consumption by 50%. And with the AccuSpray system, it allows them to do that.
And that's a significant savings. I know every time I seem to open the mail, the cost of primers are going up. Yeah. So if I can have a 50% savings in primers, that is a nice front-end benefit for the shop to have.
Absolutely.
So I'm almost afraid to ask, what else has 3M got for us? It seems like it's been a new product all the time. Anything new coming out?
Well, we've got we do have the different filters for waterborne material. So as you know, when we initially came out with the original PPS, we had the green barrel filters, and we transitioned to the welded-in filters that you can see here, and these are 200 micron filters. But with the advent of waterborne material, it's a dirtier material, so that dirt has a tendency to migrate through the larger 200 micron filters. So what we did is we came out with the 125 micron filter. So we've got a finer mesh, allowing it to keep that dirt out of the job, if you will. And this is our traditional size, and we also just recently launched the full diameter.
Oh,
so
wow.
somebody feels like, hey, if they've got a really dirty waterborne material and it's clogging up this filter itself, what we're doing is we've provided them with this larger diameter filter, allowing for a little bit more of that trash, giving them that better flow. The last thing is, you asked, are we coming out with anything new? As you know, this is a 1/8, so it is designed primarily for primer.
Right.
But the first thing the technicians are asking is, well, I want to use it for sealer. I want to use it for base coat and clear
Right.
coat. So we are furiously working on coming out with something that would allow somebody to use it for sealer, and then eventually we would like to migrate into the base coat and the clear coat work.
That would be, I would love to have it for sealer.
I'm looking forward to providing that for you.
It's going to be, I'll be in the shop for another week after that. So I'm losing productivity thanks to all the products. So I appreciate you coming by today.
That's
It's
my
always
pleasure.
a pleasure to have you guys stop by. It's I think it's become like the Collision Hub favorite thing show. So
I appreciate that.
but I am going to stop by the booth and we'll do some more, and hopefully we'll see some of the rest of the stuff out there. Don't forget to join us for the rest of the week. We'll still be live from the NACE floor in Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, Nevada, bringing to you some of the latest products and what's here on the show floor. Thanks.